Hey guys, how's it going? In today's video, I want to talk about hydrangeas. So it's winter right now, we're in full-on garden planting mode, so I thought it'd be fun just to talk about some pretty plants, because I know typically by this time of year, my plant list is really long. Like, I'm so excited to get out and get going. I've got spring fever. Also, there have been so many varieties of hydrangeas introduced into the market over the last several years, and maybe you only have experience with some of the older type of varieties, some that maybe you haven't had good luck with. Maybe they flop over every summer and look kind of like a mess, or maybe you've just heard that they are hard to grow. That's the reputation that they have in my area. So to pick the right variety to start with, one that's reliable and easy to grow, will really help out, and I'm hoping that this video helps with that. So I'm going to be showing you guys 16 different varieties of hydrangeas today. They're all beautiful and they all fall within two categories. So we're going to be talking about Hydrangea arborescens. They're also called smooth or native hydrangeas, and then also Hydrangea paniculatas that are also called panicle or PG hydrangeas. All 16 of these varieties do have a few things in common. So first of all, they're all hardy down to zone 3, which means they can withstand temperatures in the winter down to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. And they're all heat tolerant to zone 8. One of the 16 is heat tolerant to zone 9, and I'll tell you about that one when we get to it. They also all bloom on new wood, which means they set their buds and bloom during the current growing year. So that means harsh winters, deer grazing on them, or those of you gardeners out there who are quick to prune probably won't hurt their ability to bloom. They're improved varieties as well. So they're improved in stem strength, growth habit, bloom size, and color. I have a really great size comparison chart that we'll throw up here real quick. We will put it at the end of the video too, because it will make a little more sense to you once I've gone through all of the varieties, but it's just really nice to see them side by side so you can really tell which one would fit nicest in your garden. And all the blooms make for great cut flowers, either fresh or dried, for arrangements. So those are all the traits that all of these hydrangeas share in common. Now I want to get into each individual one. The first 8 on my list are part of the Hydrangea arborescens group, or the smooth or native hydrangeas. Really quick history. So this type of hydrangea came about in the 1960s when the classic Annabelle type hydrangea came about. Many of you guys know what that one looks like. It's a nice big white hydrangea, but there were some things that really were not great about it. So the stems were not strong enough to hold up the bloom, so that one tends to flop over and just look messy. It also grows to an enormous size, so it's very hard to fit into some spaces, and they only came in one color. So the 8 that I'm going to show you are vastly improved versions from that original Annabelle. So the first one is called Incredible. This is a beautiful hydrangea. They grow about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. Huge blooms, like bigger than your head size blooms. The first time I saw this one planted in mass, we were in a trial garden in Michigan, and it was planted in a huge long hedge that kind of lined a driveway, kind of curved, and it was the most stunning hedge I've ever seen to date. They have very strong stems, so they won't flop over even though they have such huge blooms. Next one is called Incredible Blush. Basically the same as the Incredible, but it's the pink version. But it's a very unique color of pink. It's kind of a chrome pink, if that makes sense. And they bloom deep, deep into fall. So you get this beautiful show for most of the summer and the fall. And next is the Invincible Spirit 2, which grows about 42 to 48 inches tall and wide. And this is an improved version from the original pink arborescens. It has improved stem strength, deeper pink color, and a really nice rounded growth habit. So it's just a really pretty shrub all on its own, like as a standalone in the garden. And it's a crazy rebloomer. They just rebloom all throughout the season into fall. And I think the really cool part about this one is that $1 is donated for every one of these that's sold to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, and they have donated over $1 million so far. Next is Lime Ricky, which grows about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide, and this one is incredibly sturdy. So in their trial gardens, they had one of these planted right below a greenhouse gutter. They had about 4 hours of just pouring torrential rain, and that plant was getting pelted by that downspout coming out of the greenhouse for all 4 hours, and it was not phased. Not a single branch broken. Super strong plant. The color is really unique. They're kind of a luminescent green. They start out kind of creamy colored, and then they deepen to a jade, and so they kind of have this marbleized effect. And then on the top of each floret, they're topped with pink pollen. So they're just a very unique looking hydrangea, and green goes with everything. Next is Invincible Wee White, and this one is just cute. It's a dwarf size hydrangea that grows about 12 to 30 inches tall and wide, covered with white, beautiful blooms that almost look like a bouquet out in the landscape. And I just love this one because of the size, because I think it gives the ability for a lot more gardeners to use it in their landscape. Because maybe you have a very small garden and you love hydrangeas, but you don't have the space to put something that's going to get really big. This one affords you the opportunity to get a hydrangea planted somewhere in your yard. And then there's Invincible Ruby that grows about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. And this one's a nice medium-sized shrub. So it's very easy to find space for this type of hydrangea as well. They have very rich, deep ruby red flowers. So I think that this one would be excellent for both cutting and drying, because if you cut them at the right time, you can maintain that color in your dried arrangement, and the flowers start in summer and go all the way through fall. Next is Invincible Limetta, which also grow about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, so a very nice medium-sized shrub. I planted a very long hedge of these last fall. Very excited to see what they do this year, and I love the color of green. I love the green blooms. We have a white house. I think that green goes with any other color that you put near it, and I think it'll contrast off of our white house beautifully. And the last Hydrangea arborescens is called Invincible Mini Mauvette, and they grow about 30 to 36 inches tall and wide, and the flowers are truly mauve. They're kind of this moody pink purple color, but the foliage is also extremely interesting. I think it's a very deep green and very deeply toothed leaves. The stems are really sturdy and they hold up the blooms just beautifully, and they bloom summer through frost. The next 8 varieties are types of Hydrangea paniculata, also called Panicle or PG hydrangeas. If you think you have a black thumb, these type of hydrangeas are the ones you should be growing. They're a little bit more sun tolerant than most of the other hydrangeas, and they seem to be a little bit more adaptable. Like, we live in Eastern Oregon, have super high alkaline soil, and I've grown several of these varieties, and they do really, really well for us. And their blooms also undergo kind of a natural coloring process. So many of them start out white, and then as the season progresses, they take on pink and red and kind of green tones naturally. Soil chemistry has nothing to do with it. The first one is called Limelight, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. This is the best-selling panicle hydrangea in history, for very good reason, I think. I've got some planted here, and they have just performed beautifully. They grow about 6 to 8 feet tall and wide, and this one is the one that's a little bit more heat tolerant, so it can take up to a zone 9. So they get huge mop head flowers. Like this year I had one that was about this tall, and they open this creamy white, and then they kind of turn this chartreusey green, and then toward fall they take on tones of pink, burgundy, a little bit more green. They're just beautiful. If you pick them, cut them at the right time during the summer, you can dry them and they'll maintain that color, or you can let them just kind of naturally brown on the plant, and I cut them and use them in holiday projects all the time. They're just gorgeous. And if you love the limelight but you just don't have room for that big of a plant, you can go with the little lime, which grows about 3 to 5 feet tall and wide. Same beautiful flowers, same beautiful color, just on a smaller plant. Next is called Firelight, and this one is really interesting. It grows about 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. The blooms start off white and then quickly turn a really deep red color, so you get a really long time to enjoy that deep color instead of waiting closer to fall when the temperature starts to change. So it makes for a really great cut flower earlier on in the season. Stems are really, really strong, and it's just a really beautiful kind of compact, dense looking plant. And then there's the quickfire hydrangea, which grows about 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. This is the earliest blooming panicle hydrangea, and it's got a lot of really neat features. So it's got a white lace cap bloom that quickly turns to a deep true red. The leaves are heavily corrugated, so it has a really distinctive texture. And the stem that holds the leaf, so the stem right beneath the leaf that holds it onto the branch, is a really bright red. So you kind of get a different kind of look from this plant, and it's got a really pretty fall color, which is kind of rare in this species. And then there's the little quickfire, so you get all the same benefits that you get with the quickfire, with the white blooms that turn red, the really neat stem color, fall color, but you've got a scaled down version at just 3 to 5 feet tall and wide. Next is Zinfandel, which grows 6 to 8 feet tall and wide, and they have huge mop head flowers, really full and fluffy, that emerge a pure white color, and then they start to age a deep pink from the bottom up. So you kind of get this really pretty ombre effect. They have very strong stems, just a really outstanding hydrangea. Next is Pinky Winky, and they grow about 6 to 8 feet tall and wide, and this one has the largest blooms of any paniculata. Just huge, beautiful flowers that start off the white color and then they age into a pink, usually from bottom up, kind of like the quickfire, but they're a little bit more open than the quickfire type hydrangea. Those ones are a little bit more full. These also attract butterflies like crazy when they're in bloom. I was able to find some and get them planted in my garden last year. I even found a couple in tree form, so I'm very excited to see what they do this year and see them bloom again. They also have very thick, sturdy stems. And the last paniculata is called Bobo. So they grow about 2.5 to 3 feet tall and wide, so a nice compact, more dwarf-sized hydrangea. beautiful frilly mop head blooms that start white and kind of age to a soft pink. And any hydrangea that stays on this smaller side, it's a really good option for smaller gardens or smaller hedges or even for containers. All right guys, so that's all 16. That was a lot, but it is winter time. This is the time of year to really pour through varieties of plants and decide what you want in your garden. And I'm hoping that this video maybe inspired you to put some hydrangeas in yours. I would love to know what your favorite is. Of all 16 of these, which ones do you want in your garden? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.